today I sent an email about this, but I think it's also relevant for the YouTube audience, so I want to talk about being disliked. And now, this is advice that I give to my business coaching clients too, right? So, my business coaching clients, they want to work on their marketing, they want to talk more about their business. But then, given the fact that when they talk about their business, it opens them up to an audience, right? Especially in the age of the internet, you never know who's gonna write what on your content. And then now, you start feeling, well, I mean to write this from a good place, but then what if this gets misunderstood, and now I get flamed, and then I get cancelled, and then so basically, what if people dislike me for the things that I post about my business? And as you can see, well, as you can imagine, this kind of thought process can really put a damper on your business, because when it comes to providing goods and services, so much of business happens because of awareness, right? People, in order for them to buy from you, they need to know that you exist. But then, suppose you are an entrepreneur who has kind of like a personality that's naturally shy, but you don't want to work for other people because like you're tired of the corporate life, and then you genuinely believe when you're in the room by yourself you have a really good product. But then now, just because you have a good product doesn't mean that everybody just knows about it, right? So you need to talk about it, but then you get afraid of, like, what if people dislike the things that I say, and then now the filtering comes in and you end up with like the blandest of the post, right? You don't say anything of substance, but then you just say like all the safe things, and that's how you become basically indistinguishable from your competitors, right? And so I emphasize the need to be yourself a lot, and the need to kind of like not care what other people think. Even if people don't like you, it's okay. Even if people do like you, it's okay. It's not like this great thing you have to celebrate. It's just people like things, people don't like things. But now, I'm always interested in the deeper root of why people have a hard time with a certain thing. So, when it comes to the being liked or disliked dichotomy, ultimately, I want you to I want you to put yourself first. I want you to live your life. I want you to express yourself. But now, that's hard, because it's so hard to not care about being disliked from an emotional level. Why is that? And when you break down the mechanics of being liked or disliked and when that matters, right? You will find that there's like a big theme here at play. So I want to explain to you one scenario. So, in one scenario, I have opinions, but they're largely supported by the local community that I'm in. And then, that opinion held by the local community isn't really like in sync with the greater kind of a consensus around this topic. Maybe you're in Italy, but then you're in a part of Italy where they're okay with putting pineapples in pizza. So, you can say something about this. I'm Italian and I think pineapple on pizzas are fine. But then if you're supported by your local network, then it's like, okay, so this is one scenario. And now, on the other hand, I have a scenario in which I work for a really good company. And I get a lot of benefits. And I basically centered all my life and investment strategies based on the fact that I can keep this job. So, and then at the time I feel strongly about a certain topic and I want to say something about a certain topic. So now, given these two scenarios, who's gonna have a harder time talking about the things that they want to say? It's probably the latter one. And that's because you have something to lose by being disliked. On the other hand, there's the element of being liked, right? Okay, so, again, when does being liked matter? Imagine, you're a guy, or a gal, or a non-binary pal, and all you do is you just have a local mom and pop bakery shop, and you tried all the mochi, like donuts, and you tried all the croffles and everything, but then you tried all the fads, and you're like, you know what, sourdough is the one for me. And my bakery, yeah, we make like other basic pastries, but our shop is pastry. Our shop is sourdough. We tried everything, but I like making sourdough the most. So in this case, you're the sourdough bakery. And sometimes you have slow months, sometimes you have good months, but you tried everything. And you know sourdough is like the thing that will keep you going in the bakery business. On the other hand, suppose you have a business, bakery business, but business hasn't really been that great. And then you're like, you're kind of a few months behind on your rent, and you're like, can I make this month or not? And then you get a DM from your local food reviewer, Instagram or TikTok person. And now, who has something to gain from this situation? Again, it's the latter, right? So, when you're caught in this dynamic of having something to lose by pissing other people off, and at the same time, you have something to gain by pleasing other people, that is when it becomes really, 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 really tough to not care about what other people think. Because the well-being of you, your success, and all the things that you care about are dependent on what other people think about you. And in the long run, when you sustain this kind of a lifestyle, what's gonna happen is even when you are successful, you're always going to worry about what if this success goes away. And when you aren't successful, you're always going to be more afraid of potentially other people being pissed off at you, and you're gonna care a lot about leaving a good impression on other people, and you're gonna bend backwards a lot. So these are kind of the long-term effects that you can expect when you continue down the line of caring very deeply about what other people think. But I want you to know that this behavior isn't because you're stupid or something, isn't because you have lack of self-esteem or whatever. It's that this dynamic, when you have something to gain from other people, how can you not care? When you have something to lose by pissing off other people, how can you not care? So ultimately, this comes down to, what are you looking for in your life? What's the next thing that you are trying to obtain? What's the thing that you want to hold on to that you don't want to let go? It's your relationships to these things that you hold valuable inside of your heart that makes this power dynamic work in the first place. So, suppose you care a lot about money, but then there are people who are food scarce, right? And then somebody says we're gonna close down this restaurant that's super affordable in your neighborhood. You're probably fine because it's okay, you can eat other food. But now, for food scarce people, having a lack of the affordable food options is kind of a critical issue, right? So just like that, depending on your priority, world events hit people differently. So, if you can understand what specifically it is about your life that you hold valuable, and how that is making you lose power in relation to other people, when you can pinpoint that, then you can reverse engineer your way into, how can I make this less dependent on other people, but more about me? How can I make it more originate from my personal power? And that is how you actually solve the problem of caring too much about what other people think about